On the deck. My name is Adam Orduna. Once again, this is my mom Gina, and so today we've got two topics for our show, and they for the most part just pertain to post-game interactions within media or the opposite team after either a loss or a win. And so we're going to be talking about two sports specifically, and two high-profile games or incidents, if you will, that this has happened in recent news. So we're going to be talking about the Sweet 16 Duke versus Oregon matchup that just happened last night. And everyone knows who Grayson Allen is. He's a guard for Duke, and he's a part of that national championship team from last year. And they had a great run this year, coming back from being unranked. And they lost a heartbreaker last night. And some things kind of conspired between Coach K and one of the Oregon players, and it kind of made some news. And so we're just going to jump into that.
Well, and all that happened during the handshake.
Yes, this was at post-game, at the end of the game, and actually even between Grayson Allen and one of the other Duke players as well. I think it was the same player.
Yeah.
So we're just going to talk about that. And initially, what do you think could be done to kind of help ease over those initial feelings from when you just won or lost a game?
Well, I know this is going to sound controversial in the world of sportsmanship. I think you should do away with the post-game handshake. And here's why. In basketball, unlike like in football, college football, for example, the kids don't have to go across. They don't make them line up like they do in high school and meet on the 50-yard line and do the whole, thing.
Yeah, right.
In basketball, we still get these kids down to the buzzer beater, last shot, this, that, and the third, and expect them to line up and just, oh, here we go, good game. And here's some kids. Get your hand up. Good game. Good game.
All right, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I think that's why storming the court's a good thing, because it keeps the kids from having to do that.
Yeah, right.
At the end of the game, it's ridiculous. What are they, in kindergarten? And most of these games nowadays, there's a ton of parity. And I don't know if it's worse to have to shake somebody's hand when you lose on the last second buzzer beater. Wisconsin just whooped somebody doing that in the tournament. Or if someone has blown you out and you've got a 14, 15, 20-point loss.
Yeah.
Either way, it's ridiculous. And we still make college athletes line up like they're in third grade and go across and try to shake everyone's hands. I think it's ridiculous. So that's what could be done.
Well, and I think that's really just unique for basketball, because in football they don't really do that. You see at the end of the game, everyone kind of congregates in the middle.
It's a big old mass in the middle.
And then you got your team, they line up and go into the locker room, and that's usually what happens. So yeah, it's really more for just college basketball that you see where the teams line up and try to shake each other's hand. And you think that's more just because of sportsmanship and just trying to promote good sportsmanship as far as these student athletes.
Let's talk about sportsmanship. So we're in the middle of the Sweet 16 right now. Duke, exceeded everyone's expectations.
Yes.
They spent a lot of time unranked this season, which I always believed in them because it's Coach K.
Right.
And here they go, and not only do they come into the tournament, but then they're in the Sweet 16. They made it to what we call the nickname rounds.
Yes, the nickname rounds of the tournament.
Right, you're sweet or elite or final. They made it that far.
Right.
They're in there. Oregon gets up on them. I mean, Oregon is a really good team, as we predicted.
Right.
And Duke just couldn't hold on for the win. I mean, they were, what did they lose by? 14? I think it was about a 14 point loss.
Something like that, yeah.
Here you go, the clock's ticking down. And one of the Oregon players, a terrific player, shoots the ball, shoots a long three, swish through the net.
Basically on the sticker of the half court line,
exactly.
right there on the sticker.
It's one of those, crowd out of their seat kind of shots. But why do you need to do that when there's literally no time for Duke to come back? You had 10 seconds left, clock's winding down, and you take the shot, then the kid gets you with the muscle thing.
Yeah.
It was really, to me, a classless act at the end of a really good game that Oregon dominated. Well, here the kid comes through the good game line.
Yeah.
And he wants to hug up on Grayson Allen. I'm all team Grayson on this one. Grayson Allen was like, no. I mean, he didn't like shove the kid off or do anything like that, but he gave him the don't hug me-ness. I'm with that. I don't think you should have even made him line up after that. I think that was ridiculous.
Well, I think the thing that everyone's talking about is more of the reaction. When you look at the shot, there was 7 seconds, and the shot clock was also going down. So you can excuse
on the shot clock.
The shot more than anything else.
So he felt like he needed to throw something
right,
up.
And he didn't want to just cause a turnover or just let the ball come out.
We could argue that too, because what's it going to cost you if you turn it over with 7
I totally agree, but
left?
I'm just looking at it from this player's side. You look at it, the time's running down. I don't want to just give the ball over and you know, the clock's running down. So you shoot it, and of course he makes it, and then he flexes and his teammate celebrates with him, and so it looks really bad. And so as far as all that goes, you can understand where people can be upset. And I think where Grayson Allen gets away with this, because if they were actually in the handshake line doing that, it would be more of a story. But this was right after the kid shot it. Grayson gets the ball back because there's no time.
Right.
He crosses the timeline, which is center court.
And just dribbles out.
Yes, and then the kid tries to hug him. And Grayson's like, no, I'm not trying to hug you. I'm not feeling that.
Okay, so that happened on the court. I thought that happened in the good hand.
It was the last final seconds of the game, and the guy tried to come up to him and was like, here, let's hug it out. And Grayson was like, excuse me, no.
Okay, well,
so
to me,
that's where he gets a pass in my book.
To me, well, Grayson Allen would have got a pass from me either way, because to me, that's even worse. I'm on the court with you, and you're trying to hug on me. Listen, if you're LeBron and D Wade, you know, you guys are the LeBron, Carmelo, D Wade, and
all
Chris
these guys
Paul, who are
friends,
best buddies.
And they've been
you got me today. Let me dap it up.
Right.
Fine.
Sure.
I don't know you. You just did something I thought was classless, and I just lost in the Sweet 16. I'm not hugging it out with you. There's no mutual respect. Get off. Fuck.
Well, the big conversation here is not so much of Grayson Allen, but with Coach K.
Right.
And the original
because that
question
did happen in the
was,
handshake line.
Yes, Coach K addresses the kid that shot it, and then the same kid went and tried to hug Grayson Allen, and so I think this was maybe the third straw, if you will, and Coach K just went up to the kid just politely because he's got class and he's a great coach, and he just said, hey, look, you're a phenomenal player. You may want to think twice about trying to shoot extra shots.
You don't need to take that shot
when it's that point in time of the game. And so I think overall with that, you just have to look at the situation, and everyone in that situation is probably okay, and you just need to move on from that.
Okay, well, it doesn't change my opinion. I think the handshake line in college basketball is overrated, and people are going to beat us up about that and say, oh, it's about sportsmanship. I'm a great sport. I can just tell you, even on like youth football levels or youth basketball levels, when you want to line the kids up and say, look, at the end of the day, this was about competing, about learning lessons, playing with your team, playing good ball. Yes, dap them up. But when you get to the collegiate level, some of this stuff gets really personal. I played post. You know, that's what women call it. We post up underneath. You're in there punching each other in the stomach, elbowing each other in the spine. That was my move. I'm not going to lie. I'd get you in the spine with my bony elbow, whatever it could to get position. You've done all that back and forth, and then you lose, and you're supposed to go there, good game, good game. I just think that that's ridiculous, and I think you're asking the kids, especially in college, to have some sour grapes moments.
Well, and emotions are very high, especially right after the game, and you can completely understand if a coach or a player is not feeling extremely happy about a loss, or they just lost a championship. And so because of that, let's segue into another example of kind of the same situation with the Super Bowl. You've got Cam Newton, who just lost the toughest game of his life, and you've got all the media, you got all these microphones, all these cameras in your face, and he does not handle it very well. What are your thoughts on that, about teams maybe losing a championship or a big time game that, hey, maybe this isn't a time or a situation where we should ask the players, maybe we should just take something from the coaches? Or is it just, hey, they're professionals, they need to be able to answer these questions and move on from it? What are your thoughts on that type of situation?
My answer is going to probably seem counterintuitive, because I would lean on, I was pretty hard on Cam immediately after that, but some time
I think a lot
has
of
gone
people
by.
were.
Oh yeah, and I was too. But as time's gone by, further reflection, I still don't think Cam handled it very well. Cam is a professional athlete. He's a leader. I don't think he handled it well. But here's the issue. I have a problem with the premise of making the losing team sit up there with cameras in your mouth. Look at what happened with Purdue. I'm jumping back to basketball, but Purdue basketball team just lost the Big Ten tournament.
Right.
And then they're sitting there waiting to see what seed they get in the NCAA tournament. They knew they were going. They're just trying to see what number. And you got cameras all in these kids' mouths sitting there after the game. Now that's college. You're going to take a pro who has now played in the highest game and the highest level of his life and slap a camera. So Cam Newton, you just got your butt kicked in the Super Bowl. How'd that feel? I reject the premise. Quit doing that. And the winners should be the ones with the cameras in their face.
Sure, I think I think you bring up a great point. That's where, in that situation, especially a championship or like the Super Bowl, where it's the elitist of all championships, no one necessarily needs to hear from the losing team.
No.
You may get a statement or two from the head coach.
Thank you.
And that's it.
And it's a consolation speech.
Yes, and the focus needs to be on the team that just won, not all the negative and downtrodden feelings for the team that just lost. And so, yeah, I think if there's a way that they could maybe manifest it to where it's just where the team that won, that would make things a little bit more easier to handle.
And that's how it should be. To the winner goes the spoil. The camera should be in the mouth of the winning quarterback, the winning kicker. Right. Everybody on the winning team should have a camera in their face. You let the losers take that loss into the locker room and go home, other than the head coach who says something conciliatory like, we played a great game, they played better, we congratulate them, blah, 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 and off he goes. You guys should not put, that's you media. Don't put Cam Newton in that position in the first place. Do away with the losers, and I hate even the word loser. Cam Newton's a winner, but the losing teams, all that media stuff at the end.
So bottom line here with the Purdue's and the Oregons beating Duke and etc., you're okay with some people not having the complete cool feelings after a loss?
I think you shake hands before the game. I think if the situation is fine, just like in football, and you want to let people go up and dap each other up, fine. Sure. But that forced interaction or those forced media interviews, it's ridiculous. Nobody believes it. And if I'm up there, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be salty the whole time. I'm not a good loser.
It's hard to not be.
I am not a good loser. I'm not a poor sport, but I'm not a good loser. Get the camera out of my mouth. I'm not good gaming you. I'll catch you later.
Well, with that, we've got a lot more coming from the NCAA tournament and more disappointments along with those games. So we're going to be bringing more to you. We just want to say thanks for watching, folks. Have a nice day.